Arg of Tabriz, also known as Arg Alishah, is the remnant of a large Acropolis fortification and city wall in downtown Tabriz, Iran. Its structure is visible from far distances in Tabriz. The structure was initially a compound containing a great vaulted mosque, adjoining prayer halls and libraries, a vast courtyard containing a huge reflecting pool, and a mausoleum, all surrounded by a containing wall. It was built in 14th century during the Ilkhanate era. The point of pride for the building was that its vaulted Ayvan was larger than the famous historic Taghi Kasra at Madain.
However, with the sudden death of the governor of the city and with some construction complications in constructing a roofed building without pillar for such a huge complex, the mausoleum structure remained incomplete. With the rise of tensions between Iran and Russia, the structure rapidly turned into the city's fort, and additional military installations such as a barracks and cannon foundry were added to the original structure. During the 20th century, the military installations were removed from original construction, and the surrounding of the Arg turned into a park. In the late 20th century, a big mosque was built next to the citadel. The original construction was made between 1318 and 1339 during the Ilkhanate era. During the construction, the main barrel vault collapsed and the construction was stopped afterwards. Centuries later, between the eruption of the Russo-Persian War 1804 to 1813 and the Russo-Persian War 1826 to 1828, the compound was quickly reconstructed as a military compound. During the reconstruction of the Arg compound, a foundry factory for the manufacturing of cannons for the Iranian army was built, as well as a military headquarters, a barrack for the troops, and a small palace. Samson Makinstev, better known as Samson Khan, a Qajar Iranian general of Russian origin, lived inside the citadel for years together with his wife, the daughter of Prince Alexander of Georgia. During the Russian invasion of Tabriz in 1911, the Russians shelled the Arg in initial attacks. Once they captured the city, they used the Arg as a central command center. During their occupation, because of careless handling the artillery pieces they used, set fire to parts of Arg. During the Pahlavi era, parts of the Arg, which was presumed to have been constructed in the 19th century during the Qajar dynasty, were destroyed. In the process, much of the old Ilkhanid and Safavid remnants were also unwittingly destroyed, leaving behind only a tiny section of the back wall containing the mihrab intact. This destruction was with the aim of leaving behind only the original Arg construction, ridding it of its later additions and constructions. Much of the original building was lost in the process. The southern part of the Arg was turned into a park, the Millet Garden, or literally Park of the People, before the Iranian Revolution in 1979. In the early 1980s, after the suppression of uprising of supporters of Muslim People's Republic Party against the new establishment of mixing religion and state and neglecting of Azerbaijani minorities, Muslim Malakuti selected Juma of Tabriz as the new Imam. During his tenure in Tabriz, Juma began the destruction of Arg's Qajar era addendum wall, cultural institutes, and Arg theater, and replaced them with a new mosque for Friday prayers. In the 1990s and 2000s, a rehabilitation and renovation project was executed by the Iranian Organization for Cultural Heritages. During this rehabilitation, however, all of the remaining Qajar era development from Arg Citadel were destroyed. At the same period, a new big mosque was built next to the Arg Citadel. The superstructure of the new mosque undermined the architecture of Arg Citadel.
This action completely destroyed the ancient foundations of the original Arg that still existed underground and were going to be used for a construction attempt at the end of the Pahlavi era. Thus, the new Islamic regime eliminated any chance of methodical reconstruction by wiping out the remaining foundations of the Arg. Ironically, this was done in order to build a new mosque, which could have been built a few dozens of yards farther away from this primary Iranian Islamic archaeological site and spare its destruction.